I don't know how someone like Jillian can afford that house, but oh my gosh, those stained glass windows are amazing. So beautiful. The set design on this show is incredible. Reader and friend of the All Souls trilogy, your love of this story can help release you. You are meant to be a part of a community that keeps you safe too. But can that be enough? And how do we know? But before we find out what book only you can call up and talk about what I mean, be sure that you're subscribed to this channel. So let's talk about episode 4. What I saw is that the show did an incredible job of setting up the level of tension and barriers that Matthew and Diana are going to have to cross to become one. Let's talk about 2 different settings. One is at Set Tours, and one is at the meeting of the congregation. There's a lot of significant things happening in both places. So let's start with Set Tours. And let's start with when Matthew and Diana are driving through the village. As they reach the village, Diana asks if the villagers know about them. I'm assuming that means the vampires, and Matthew says yes. Vampires are always safer in community, he says. Well, then Diana meets Isabeau. Isabeau has feelings and opinions about Diana being there. But even more than her feelings and opinions, she is guarding her family, her way of life, and the life of vampires. Diana breaching that is a very big deal. Matthew tells Diana that no one has visited Set Tours since his father died. And that was 60 years ago at least. His father was killed by witches, and Diana is a witch. So of course the tension is thick when Diana shows up. So before we talk about what happens at the end, let's go to what's happening in the congregation. The congregation is an attempt at community, and it has lasted for a really long time. The community does provide safety for the creatures, but oh, how hackles rise quickly. Peter Knox looks at Baldwin and says, "Your brother has abducted a witch." Now there's 2 things about that. First of all, Diana hasn't been abducted. Peter Knox is stirring the pot. But the fact that it's Baldwin's brother that is doing this, and it's Baldwin's father who established the community, and it's the vampires who have held their place as the dominant creature, there's a lot that's at stake. Between Set Tours and the congregation, there is nobody on Diana and Matthew's sides, not even Diana's beloved aunts. Jabert says to Baldwin, "We used to rule with an iron fist. Your family is compromising all of us." And he's not wrong. The powers that be, they're mad. Isabeau is understanding that this is a very big deal. And that's the thing about the vampires. They have this ability to see so much of history that they understand what's at stake. And all it takes is that conversation between Isabeau and Matthew after Domenico shows up for Matthew to say, "You know what? It's true. I may have had this incredible kiss with this incredible woman as we strolled my gardens of my family home. But I don't think this is good for so many reasons, and one of them being that Isabeau says they're going to kill her." Bottom line is that the question that Matthew has to ask himself, what am I going to do, is very valid. But of course, how does the episode end? Matthew, he needs to move on. He needs to go see what's gone on with the lab. And we get to experience the depth of Diana's emotion. There is no turning back on what is happening between Matthew and Diana. And if we love this story, we know that the ramifications are much bigger than just two people getting together. Matthew and Diana are coming from two different places, and it's much more that's happening and shifting than just a vampire and a witch coming together. But that combination, that alchemy, it is going to shake a lot. And of course, the powers that be are threatened. So this week, consider, what's the community that keeps you safe? And what are the rules in that community? What if you need to break them? Have you had to break them? What did you do? Have you been able to stand up to the powers that be in your community? Do you need to? Maybe you're one of the powers that be. Can you be open to shifts? Because when we hang on and cling to things, that's when the pain of the shift that is inevitable feels so much worse. What are your thoughts? Share in the comments. And beyond that, spend some time with these questions. Dig a little deeper. That's what I love about these stories. As a bookstore owner, I believe that discovering good stories can help us live a good story. And this one is right up there for me. You say that the world of All Souls has changed your life. I want to help you get specific. Make the magic of the All Souls trilogy more than a fantasy. What can your story be? Are you also an Outlander fan? I host a Facebook Live show, Your Outlander Story, every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and would love for you to join me. Just type Jenny Wells Reads into your Facebook search bar. See you there.